The sound of my uncle's wheelchair hitting concrete wasn't loud, but it sliced through the afternoon like a gunshot. I was unloading groceries when I saw Uncle Raymond on the driveway, tipped sideways, helpless beside his overturned chair. A man in a sleeveless black tactical jacket stood over him, hands still raised from striking his face. My 68-year-old disabled uncle lay stunned on hot concrete, cheek already blooming red from the slap. "That's what happens when you disrespect HOA enforcement," the man said, flexing fingers like violence inconvenienced him. "My name is Anthony Martinez, 31, physical therapist, living in Colorado Springs with my Uncle Raymond Patterson. Uncle Raymond has used a wheelchair 12 years since a stroke, partially paralyzed his left side. He lives with me because daily tasks require assistance, though his spirit remains stronger than anyone I know." Seeing him sprawled on concrete snapped something primal inside my chest. "You hit him?" I said, dropping groceries, stepping toward the man blocking my uncle's sunlight. The leader looked mid-40s military buzzcat, 200 pounds of gym-sculpted intimidation and rehearsed authority. Two other men in matching sleeveless tactical jackets flanked him like discount paramilitary props. "Your uncle became verbally aggressive regarding HOA violations," the leader explained with chilling detachment. "We are authorized to use appropriate force during enforcement actions," he added without blinking. "He's in a wheelchair," I said, voice shaking. "He cannot even stand." He was yelling and refusing directives about unauthorized medical equipment visible from the street. They pointed toward the wheelchair ramp one installed last year with proper Colorado Springs permits. "That ramp gives him independence, dignity, and the ability to leave home alone." "HOA regulations supersede city permits," the leader replied smoothly, as if reciting scripture. "The ramp is unapproved. Removing it and issuing citations immediately." Uncle Raymond struggled to right himself, fingers slipping against concrete as paralysis limited movement. None of the three men offered assistance to the disabled veteran they'd knocked down. I stepped forward again, fury drowning reason, but the leader blocked me with his chest. "Sir, step back. This is HOA business," he warned. Then I heard a diesel engine roaring down our street far too fast. A lifted Jeep Wrangler screeched into our driveway, gravel spraying like shrapnel. Derek Patterson exploded from the driver's seat, wearing full Air Force combat uniform. The sound that left his throat was not language, but pure protective rage. "Who hit my father?" he demanded, voice shaking windows along the block. Derek stood 6'2", 220 pounds of Special Operations Combat Controller muscle. He'd driven straight from Peterson Air Force Base 10 minutes away. His eyes locked onto Uncle Raymond on concrete and the raised hand of Christopher. Derek moved like he was engaging an enemy combatant overseas. "You hit my disabled father," he said, voice dropping cold and lethal. The fake HOA enforcers suddenly looked painfully mortal. "Sir, we're HOA enforcement," the leader began defensively. "I don't care who you are," Derek interrupted. "That's my father." He dropped to his knees beside Raymond with combat medic precision. "Dad, can you move? Did you hit your head?" he asked urgently. "I'm okay, son," Raymond whispered, trembling. He slapped me and pushed the chair. Derek rose slowly, and even neighbors stepping outside felt the temperature change. "You slapped him and pushed his wheelchair, knowing he cannot catch himself." "He was verbally aggressive," Drake insisted weakly. "So verbal aggression justifies assaulting a disabled Vietnam veteran," Derek roared. Neighbors gathered, phones raised, whispering in shock. "My father served 2 tours in Vietnam," Derek shouted. "You put hands on him?" Derek pulled out his phone without breaking eye contact. "This is Master Sergeant Derek Patterson. I need security forces immediately. 3 individuals just assaulted a disabled military veteran at my residence." Colorado Springs police arrived within minutes, sirens cutting tension open. Air Force security forces vehicles followed, 6 armed airmen stepping out with disciplined urgency. The combined presence swallowed the driveway in flashing lights and authority. Drake, Bennett, and Rhodes's were separated, disarmed, and detained. Captain Morrison from security forces approached Derek formally. "Master Sergeant, what happened here?" he asked sharply. "These civilians assaulted my disabled Vietnam veteran father during fake enforcement activity. He slapped him and pushed his wheelchair, causing bodily injury." Morrison's jaw tightened as he studied Raymond's reddened face. "They assaulted a disabled veteran," he repeated slowly. "I want them arrested," Morrison told local officers. "Let's pursue federal charges." Derek knelt again beside his father, gripping his trembling hand. "I should have been here sooner," he whispered, voice cracking. "You came fast as you could." Raymond replied gently, despite bruising. "But they hit you, Dad." "They knocked you down," Derek said. Over the next 2 weeks, investigations uncovered something far darker. Gerald Thompson orchestrated fake HOA enforcement operations across Colorado. His crews targeted elderly residents and disabled veterans specifically. Wheelchair ramps, railings, accessibility equipment were labeled violations for extortion leverage. Most victims paid thousands, fearing loss of independence. Thompson made one catastrophic mistake, targeting Raymond Patterson. Derek coordinated with the Air Force Office of Special Investigations. He connected victims across jurisdictions with strategic precision learned in combat. Evidence mounted. Emails, fake credentials, coordinated intimidation tactics. 68 additional victims came forward courageously. Disabled veterans described threats, humiliation, and forced payments. 11 months later, federal court convened against Thompson and his enforcers. Raymond testified from his wheelchair about the slap and helpless fall. "I survived Vietnam," he told jurors quietly, "but that humiliation hurt deeper." Derek testified about finding his father on concrete. I testified about Drake standing over a disabled man he'd struck. The jury convicted Thompson, Drake, Bennett, and Rhodeses on every count. Thompson received 43 years in federal prison. Drake received 41 years for assault with special circumstances. Bennett and Rhodeses received lengthy federal sentences exceeding 3 decades. The judge called it morally reprehensible exploitation of vulnerable Americans. Derek filed a civil lawsuit representing all 68 victims. The jury awarded $112 million in damages. Raymond's portion reached $9.8 million. He donated every cent to establish the Disabled Veterans Protection Fund. Colorado enacted the Patterson Disabled Veterans Protection Act afterward. Enhanced federal felonies now apply for targeting disabled veterans with force. Raymond still lives with me, ramp intact and federally protected. Some nights he wakes from nightmares of concrete and helplessness, but he also answers calls from veterans seeking courage to fight back. Christopher Drake thought a slap carried no consequences. He forgot disabled veterans have sons trained for war and justice.